My father once said, right in front of the entire family dinner table, "Your sister is successful and responsible. Unlike you, she doesn't need help. You'll never handle success the way she does." The room went dead silent. The words just hung there, humiliating me in front of everyone I loved. Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm 24, and this is the story of how my family branded me the disappointment, but I turned that label into the ultimate revenge. Welcome to Revenge with Us. Growing up, my sister Sarah was the golden one, the achiever, the nurse, the homeowner, the one with the perfect timeline. Me? The creative dreamer, the graphic designer living with roommates. To them, not real success. At every gathering, I was the punchline. Sarah was the prize. My small victories were brushed aside while hers received parades. But what no one knew, I had a secret. A savings account I'd been building for 3 years and a quiet independence they refused to see. At my cousin's engagement party, my father gave a 5-minute toast praising Sarah. When he mentioned me, all he said was, "Well, Rachel's still figuring things out." 20 eyes stared at me with pity, like I was some lost puppy. Weeks later, my parents took Sarah alone to a fancy anniversary dinner. When I asked why I wasn't invited, "You wouldn't feel comfortable there. It's not your scene. It's for the successful kids." That one cut deep. But the breaking point came at my grandma's birthday. My father announced, publicly, that Sarah would handle grandma's finances because Rachel just isn't mature enough for responsibility. I couldn't breathe. I'd been helping grandma every week, but none of that mattered. Even my sister turned on me. I held Sarah through tearful nights when she was stressed about work, hours spent coaching her through presentations. And then she told my parents I was negative and unproductive. That's when I started documenting everything. The exclusions, the lies, the whispers behind my back. And while they laughed at my so-called failure, I was secretly building something bigger. For 2 years, I'd run a freelance design business on nights and weekends. I had 3 recurring clients, a $15,000 savings account, and a new 1-bedroom apartment already secured. Meanwhile, Sarah, their perfect child, was drowning in debt. I knew because she left her banking app open on my laptop, 3 maxed-out credit cards. The irony burned. They praised her while condemning me. It all exploded at her housewarming party. The whole family was there, and my father raised a glass. To Sarah, proof that responsibility pays off. Not like some people who drift through life. That was it. I stood up. "Dad, let me show you what drifting looks like." I showed them proof of a $3,000 client payment that morning. Proof I'd built a stable, thriving business. Proof I hadn't borrowed money in years. Their jaws dropped. Then I turned to Sarah. "And since we're talking about responsibility, want to explain the 3 maxed out credit cards?" Dead silence. My grandmother broke it with one line. "It's time this family respected Rachel." My father sputtered excuses, but I just smiled, set my keys on the table, and said, "I don't need your approval anymore. I'm independent. I'm free. I'm not your family failure. I'm my own success." And I walked out, head high, grandma's hand on my shoulder. Some relatives apologized. My mother admitted they had been unfair. Sarah confessed she was jealous all along of my freedom and creativity. My father? He never apologized. But it doesn't matter, because now, I moved into my new apartment. I grew my business into 6 figures. I finally built relationships with people who value me. And the silence from my parents, it doesn't hurt anymore. It fuels me. Because here's the truth. Sometimes the greatest revenge is proving you never needed their approval in the first place. If your family ever underestimated you, or if you turned their doubt into your strength, drop your story in the comments. Subscribe to Revenge with Us for more stories of betrayal, resilience, and sweet, sweet payback. Because here, every underdog gets the last word.